check out the Patreon and gain access to all the source code. Hey, welcome back to the Paragon System series, and today is part 14 of creating the system. So let's begin. So first off, let's go with making the rest of loading. Like, we want to load the what is called the upgrades from the server or database. So let's actually do that. So where do we want to add this? Just so it is like set. Okay, let's do it inside the database system underscore db. So what you're gonna do is let's just put it here so they are a little together here. So first we want to make a function for it. So function and load upgrades from database, and it doesn't need any arguments. Next, local SQL query equals select in all uppercase and then the multiply sign for selecting everything from the table. Then from, and the next thing is that we want to say Paragon underscore system underscore spell and then spell underscore data, because it's the spell data table we want to select stuff from. Now end it off. Next, we want to have the result stored in a variable called result. So local result equals jar db query to connect and talk with the database for the jar db and SQL query. Now we have the result inside of our a variable called result. Then the next thing we want to do is that we want to go over the whole go over the result value or variable we have here. So if not result, so we are saying if nothing is inside the result, so it had nothing from the table, we would say then and we would print, and this is just for debugging to the server, which is always great to keep in. So here, now let's just server space put nothing was found. So now we know that nothing was found, and then we do a return right below the print, so it doesn't continue running in here. If it is not nothing, so then we know something is in there, we would continue, and the way we would continue is basically just we want to repeat over everything. But first, for us to like debug into the console and have an account of how many we found and loaded, we would need a local found equals 0. So just keep it at equals 0 to start. This will be the counter we will increase every time it repeats over it. So that would be a repeat until, and then inside the repeat you will write local e equals result colon get string, and inside here you will say 0, and then you will do the same for the other fields or the other columns we found. Spell id equals result get through int 32, and that's 1. And local max is the max times it can be upgraded. Result colon get you in 32, and that's number 2, not 22. So like that. Then go 2 down, and now we want to add to our spell list. So we would say spell list, then we say these and we want to go for the key. So we want to add the spell in the spell list. We want to add an entry with the key, and like we did in the earlier video, we added everything in here, or we did this in the series here. So this is the table we will go for. So we want the key here, and the key will be holding the certain value we would need for like setting up these things. So let's go in here, and I should note that the key here, since we have this as a string, so here our key should actually not be an int, it should be a text, and that's my fault. Again, I'm not great at these videos, I'm sorry for that. But yeah, if you change this to text and then hit save, now everything works, because the key is the name we entered in for the clients and stuff, as we did earlier. So that would be, as you see here, so this is what we will call the key inside here. So we connect the strength that to as the key here. So a great thing, we just gone over that and just change the key here to text instead. That's my bad. So key, and let me see here. So key, we need to continue from actually writing this. I gotta remember everything. So okay, what I was trying to say before is that spell list key. So we put in, like, if we take something like strength underscore stat. So now we add into the spell list, we add a strength underscore stat key, and under that we make a table here, and inside there we want to say spell ID, and this is important that this is spelled the correct way, so we know, like, keep it as the as we set it up earlier in the earlier parts of this video. So spell underscore ID is equal to spell ID, because we store the result in here of the first one, and the first one is this one, because as I explained before, when you get data from the database, it's not from 1, it starts from 0, so that 0 will be 1, so that will be the key here, 2, and 1 in here, 1 will be then 2, and so on. So we want to store the name, or no, sorry, the ID, and then we want to say max equals to max, and we're in my comment here that, and then say count equals count plus 1 to increase it, and then we just gotta, at the until here, we just say not result colon next row. This means that it stops as soon as it can't get another row. So when there's no more spells, then it stops. And that's great. That's what we want. Then we just want to debug that it loaded all the spells now. So here, what we want to do is just say, like, let me think here. We want to write here server, as we have done sometimes now, loaded upgrade spells space, and then we want to just say count. So now let's test it out. So let's open the window here, reload Eluna, hit enter, and you see nothing was found, and this is correct. Nothing should be found because we never added them into the database. So let's do that real quick, or let's actually just let's set it up so it's ready for when we have our spell IDs later. So go into the database table for the spell data, click up here to add one, and then, as I explained earlier, that it's always important that you keep it exactly the same, because this name is actually the key that connects the spell, the upgrades together, so the server and the client knows which one we are talking about. So my advice to you is go over here into your player underscore data for the Paragon system and copy each one of these, go back into your spell data table and add where the keys is, where you add it in, so the key is there, okay? Do this for every single one. I'll do it here. Just, I have it on the other side, or on the other monitor. So I'll just real quick add them in. And as I said before, it's important that these are the same as inside your player data. And the spell IDs, don't worry about them yet, because we haven't made the spell. So when we make the spell in later videos, we will go in and edit this. Next, open up your server again. And then, now since we just added them, we would say reload Eluna. And now, loaded upgrade spells free. So we now have done the loading of the spells, and I think that's all for this video today. I hope you enjoyed this. Please consider leaving a like and a subscribe, and comment down below if you have any questions. See you in the next one.